The XK13 or XK13, who knows, right? They don't. They are bioweapons produced by someone to fight a war, and they're still around fighting the war. This is seen pretty often in science fiction tropes. They don't know why they're fighting anymore. They just know that they are built for glorious battle. Their bonus is that they can turn in 7 hyper tokens for 3 victory points. Most people turn in 3 hyper tokens for 1 victory point, which means they can get more victory points for hyper tokens. So they really want hyper tokens. Their victory ability is Bloodlust. If they advance on the battle track, or they get the reward for the 3rd step in the battle track, if both you and your enemy each had a unit destroyed, you get a hyper token. So you love having your guys killed if they died too. So it's like more hypers. Then you turn the hypers in for victory points, and then you keep turning that into your war engine. Your weakness is death weapons. You can't salvage your ships in storage. They just stay there. Now, the game already lets you build a ship from storage, and you can too. When you do, the build cost is 1 less. So if you had a destroyer in storage, it would cost 1 metal to build. If you had a corvette in storage, it would be free. You just have to take the build action and add it to your ships. Your technologies are Heat Death and Death Wish. Because you don't have a lot of resource gaining abilities, the Heat Death action is 1 use, and it gives you organics equal to your current VPs. So if you have like 8 VPs, you get 8 organics. That's pretty handy. It may seem like you want to wait till you have 14 or 15 VPs, but that's kind of a sucker bet because then the game's almost over. You don't need organics then. So earlier in the game is probably when you want to do it. When exactly? Well, that's part of the balancing act of being the XK13. Their Death Witch ability is that if their super unit, the XK1, is in battle, then you can pick one or more of your other ships and basically turn them into energy bolts. That destroys the ship, but also destroys an enemy ship of equal metal cost. So you can take off a destroyer, which costs 2 metal, and kill 2 enemy corvettes, which also would cost 2 metal. The XK1 has another purpose. Now the XK1 is a more primitive, less free-willed version of the XK13, but it's also bigger and more powerful. It's like their Death Star, right? And what it does is that it goes into the system and it has a suppressive effect. No one can use the build or the salvage action in a system with an XK1. So you can put it in a system and kind of suppress that system so they can't build units, and while you get your other units there to attack it, he has to move there. He can't build there. The XK13.